Okay, let me clear the air on the misconceptions you guys had with respect to the previous video I made concerning notice to quit. I want you guys to watch this video with a mindset to comprehend, understand, and gain knowledge, and not with a mindset to confront or insult. First of all, who told you Nigerians that when you're given a notice to quit, whether 6 months or 3 months, you're expected to live there for free? There's nothing in law like that. Generally, we have yearly tenants, half-yearly tenants, quarterly tenants, monthly tenants. For instance, a yearly tenant is entitled by law to a 6 months notice to quit. A half-yearly tenant, 3 months, quarterly tenant, 1 month, monthly tenant, 1 month. These statutory notices I just mentioned only occurs where there is no tenancy agreement. Where there is a tenancy agreement between a tenant and a landlord, and in that tenancy agreement, it is agreed that the tenant is supposed to be given a notice period lesser than these statutory notices, it will bind both the tenant and the landlord, and the tenant cannot thereafter complain. The appropriate time for a landlord to give a tenant a notice to quit is while the tenancy is still running or while the rent is still running. For example, if there's a yearly tenant, which is from January to December, and the landlord wants the tenants to leave, statutorily, the landlord is supposed to give the tenants notice to quit by June, so that by December, at the expiration of his or her rent, the tenants can vacate the premises. However, when something occurs and the tenant needs to give, and the landlord needs to give the tenant notice to quit, depending on the notices, if it is a statutory notice or if it is a notice based on the agreement, and the tenant's rent has expired, then the tenant will still pay during the period of that notice to quit. Once your rent expires and you've not renewed your rent, you are automatically a tenant at will of the landlord. I made a previous video on this. You can imagine some tenants will owe a landlord 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, and still expect, without paying, and still expect a 6 months notice without even payment. It's inappropriate. At that point, since you've not renewed your rent, the landlord will issue you a 7 days notice to quit. After the expiration of the 7 days, if you don't leave, the landlord will issue you another 7 days owner's intention to recover premises. If at the expiration of that 7 days you still don't leave, that is the 14 days, then the landlord will file a claim in court for possession. When the landlord files the claim in court and court gives an order of possession, the landlord will take that order with bailiffs of court to come and claim possession and eventually evict you from the premises. Your landlord has no rights to come and padlock your door or maybe use force to claim possession. You can actually sue that landlord for trespass. And note that even if you go to court and court gives you time to leave the premises, during that period court gives you, if it is 3 months, if it is 6 months, you are also going to pay for that period while you stay in that house. No law allows a tenant to stay in a house and not pay rent, even if it's 2 days. It's still not clarified, because in my previous video I had a lot of comments, a lot of DMs. If you are still not clarified and you still want to know more, even if it doesn't have to do with landlord and tenant, you can join my free WhatsApp consultation group. Click on the link in my bio. It will take you to my free WhatsApp consultation group where you can state whatever it is that is going on with you and will give you legal advice. You can also send a DM to me if the link is not going, and I will give you my WhatsApp number and add you up in the group. Thank you.